Hello guys, now we continue with our lesson 12.5 and I'm going to show you one example on how we can use the theorem side-side-side congruence theorem to prove that two triangles are congruent. So here's the situation we have. We have these two triangles here, triangle PQS and triangle RQS. What information are we given? We are told, or we are given this information. We are told that PQ and RQ are congruent segments. It means PQ and RQ. And we are also told or given that segment PS and RS are congruent. PS and RS. What do we have to prove? We have to prove that triangles PQS, and triangle RQS, this one RQS, are congruent. The one you see here is going to help me facilitate the explanation. Okay, so here is a typical example of how we can prove that two triangles are congruent by using the side-side-side congruence theorem. So we're gonna start, and the way we start is like this. We say that segment PQ, this one PQ, is congruent to segment RQ. And this is where I'm going to stop a little bit and I'm going to use this triangle I show you here. Why can we assert this? Why can we state this? Because it's part of the given. So the reason why I can say that these two segments are congruent is because it's part of the given. Now I want you to take a look at this triangle I have right here. I'm going to accommodate a little bit the focus so you see. What I'm doing at this point is I'm taking this triangle PQS and look at this. Try to imagine, and we've done this in a previous video when I used GeoGebra to show you how reflections, rotations, and translations work. In that case, we use it to help us see how we can use corresponding segments or corresponding segments or angles in triangles or in different figures. What I'm doing with this triangle is, what you can see is I'm going to reflect it here and then I'm going to translate it here. Yeah, so this triangle here you see is the same triangles here, PQS. When you see that, you can see, for example, that I used PQ, and PQ is corresponding to RQ. And they are corresponding and they are congruent. That is why I am identifying them that way. With that in mind, I can also see that PS and RS are corresponding and they happen to be congruent. It means they have the same length. So this is the second thing I can say. Alright, PS and RS are congruent, and this is information I was given at the beginning of the problem. Finally, I need you to look at this. We are using SSS. We already have one of them, two of them, and now we need the last one. The last one is, and you notice this, QS and QS, they are sharing this segment. It's the same for both. So I can say that QS from this triangle is congruent to QS from the triangle RQS. And they are the same because of the reflection I did. So they are congruent because of the reflection property of congruence. Alright? That's the reason. And because of that, can you see that now I have 1, 2, and 3? Basically doing S, S, and S. So with that in mind, I can say that triangle PQS and triangle RQS are congruent, and the reason why is because they satisfy the conditions of the side-side-side congruence theorem. Okay, I hope that you could identify each of the steps and the elements that help you prove that these two triangles are congruent. And that's it. Thank you very much.